Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Expendables 4, or Expend4bles, as it's horribly written in the actual title. And yes, after 9 years, we're finally getting another Expendables movie. After the third one bombed, many people blaming the fact that the whole film got leaked online beforehand. It was a disappointment compared to the second film, which is like the perfect Expendables movie that really knew how to make it campy and violent and fun. This particular film barely feels like an Expendables movie. There's very limited Sylvester Stallone in this, and I'll get to that in a minute. But Scott Waff, who comes on, laugh with a W it looks like, this director delivers one of the ugliest looking movies I think I've ever seen. The $100 million budget that this film had did not look like any of it went to its special effects, which have horrible green screens everywhere. There's a scene with them in a bar, and you can tell the background, like the bar's is green screen, and you're just like, why? You could feel how every single scene in this film feels so artificial. Like, there's one setting in this film that felt legitimately real, and it's like Megan Fox's house. But so much of this film, like the explosions, the blood, the limbs blowing off, everything looks so cartoonishly bad with the CGI. The action is way over edited. Much of the action isn't very memorable. There is one particular scene where you, of course, get Lee Christmas, Jason Statham, doing martial arts fights with Iko Uwais, who plays Ramat, who's the main villain. He's from the Raid films, and they have a really good final battle that delivers. And you also have Tony Jaa, who gets introduced in the cast, who's like leaps and bounds the best addition to this film. He gets a fun fight along with Levi Tran, who plays Lash, who's another member of the team, as they go toe-to-toe with like the main henchman of the film. Basically, it takes you until the third act to get some really satisfying action. And that's bad, because this is an action movie. And it's the Expendables. Like, the Expendables aren't known for like their incredible, like, well-shot action. It's about the characters. And this film, how it's written, tries to hook you with a big emotional beat, and it was a bold choice, and then completely undercuts it, and then you feel like, what the hell was the point of this? And much of the film, Sylvester Stallone's not even in it, and the best parts of these movies are Stallone and Statham, and their back and forth, their chemistry together. So basically, this film mostly feels like a Jason Statham vehicle with some other famous people in it. It doesn't feel like an Expendables movie. And also, there's very few laughs that hit. A lot of it is awkward, it's offensive, it's stupid, it's uncomfortable. Like, 90% of the dialogue that Jacob Scipio, who plays Antonio Banderas' son, the character from the third film, all the things that he says are so pervy and disgusting. And then, like, Megan Fox's character, who's dating Lee Christmas in the film, is introduced in the most, like, obnoxious, annoying, horribly written way that makes her as a woman seem like an idiot and an annoying nag, and throwing around, like, caveman and Neanderthal at the male characters. It just feels so like somebody in their middle-aged people wrote this, thinking like, yeah, we're going to show these young people, and it's just like, no, it doesn't work. The dialogue is bad. The story structure in the first act is so choppy and messed up, and they're trying to do this nonlinear storytelling that just does not work at all. The second act feels so long and drawn out that I actually got bored and just was like, I'm done with this movie. It didn't take until the third act until they actually had some real fun as a team, as the Expendables. Most of this movie feels so disjointed. And, you know, the horrible effects, the lackluster action, and very few moments of, like, that real chemistry between Statham and Stallone really makes this feel hollow. You have Dolph Lundgren's Gunner, who has this weird subplot from this time, Randy Couture's Toll Road. talks way too much. That is not Couture's strength. Megan Fox just feels like a sex object in this movie, and it feels like she's reverting back to when Michael Bay was directing her. 50 Cent adds nothing to this film, and like Andy Garcia is charming in what he has to do, but like there's something about his character that's just so obnoxiously obvious that it's just like duh. But really, it's Statham, it's Stallone. Stallone's barely in it, though. Ja and Uwais, who are the ones that really stand out in this film. And in so many ways, this feels like such a big misfire. And really questions like, why did we come back to this franchise? I respected the idea of them trying to pass the torch to Lee Christmas, to Jason Statham's character. But, like, it just doesn't feel like the Expendables anymore. And just like it lost the whole entire idea of what made the first two films especially work, even though the first one's a little overly serious. That second one worked so well because it knew what it was, and this is not it. This really did not feel like Expendables 4. It just felt like some other action movie that didn't even feel worth the time. But those are my thoughts on Expend4bles. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.